Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I will call this meeting to order, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I need a motion to accept the agenda.
I move to accept the agenda.
I have a motion from Trustee Murphy. I need a second.
Second.
I have a second from Trustee Payton and Trustee Hill. Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Payton. Trustee McGlynn.
Yes.
Trustee Hill.
Yes.
And I say yes. Secretary McGlynn, will you please take attendance?
Yes. All trustees are present except for Trustee Johnson, who I think is on her way. And then we also have Trustee Schaller Barber online joining us. She will not be participating in voting, but she is online.
Thank you. Ms. Coney, we have a lot of visitors today. Tell me, who is here to see us?
Yeah, thank you, President Harrison. We're thrilled to have a room full of special guests and a hallway full of students this evening. We will begin with our youngest students from Millwood Elementary School, and their principal, Craig LeSueur, is here to introduce the students.
All right, good evening, Kalamazoo Public Schools Board members, Dr. Slade, all of our special guests, parents, families, grandparents. We appreciate you all being here and giving us the opportunity to recognize these wonderful, wonderful Panthers. Each of them has shown themselves to be a great example of our values of respect and responsibility, great growth academically, socially, and just are very wonderful and positive Panthers. Our first Excelsior student is Jeremy Merci. Next will be Yamuel Vasquez Hernandez. Next will be Cesar Simpson. Next will be Dakota Verberg. All right, next will be Italia Keaton. Right here. Followed by Ava Fitzpatrick. Next will be Carter Hayes. Once again, we thank you for this opportunity.
Our next recognition is some student athletes from Kalamazoo Central High School, and I'd like to introduce their proud principal, Mrs. Valerie Bogan.
Good evening. It is my privilege and my pleasure to recognize just a few of our exceptional students. We'll be here again with some more of our students, but tonight we're going to recognize our men's and women's basketball team. Our women's program made it to, they were district champions and regional qualifiers, and then our men's team were district champions, and then they were regional finalists. So I will introduce our athletic director, who will introduce our coaches and our students.
Thank you, school board and Dr. Slade. Winter season was very, very successful for Kalamazoo Central. Not only did our girls bring back the district championship to Kalamazoo Central where it belongs, but our boys won it for the second row in a year, or second year in a row. We also had a freshman girl qualified for states in wrestling, and she finished 7th. So for the first time in Kalamazoo Central history, we have a freshman girl who is a all-state wrestler. And we had 4 of our young men qualify for states in swimming. So it was a very, very good winter season. I'd like to introduce my girls team. First, head coach Jason Plunkett. Assistant coach Forte. Assistant coach Casanto. Assistant coach Patterson. And assistant coach Blair. Jave Blanks. Mariah Amos. Yaz Morales. Zayana Murphy Ryan. Asia Chambers. Taylon Stiver Brooks. Isa Morales. Denia Colbert. Mariah Blanks. And Amirie Green. We do have also Davia McCoy and Kamora Blanchard, but they're competing right now at Grand Valley State University for track. So this is my district champion girls team. Our district champion girls team. Can you get a picture? We'll line up there. We'll get our picture. Hold on. I do want to mention one more thing about these young ladies. In almost half of the games that they played, they were losing at halftime, and they came back to win. So you want to talk about tenacity. And what I would always tell them at halftime is it's time to get the dogs out. Bring your dogs out. Thank you, girls. And now to introduce our men's varsity program. For 22 years in a row, they are undefeated at home and 2-time district champions. Lost both times in the regional finals to East Lansing, who made it to the championship last 2 years. So, introducing first senior Tyvon Jackson, senior Cam Bean, who will be playing at Albion next year, senior Tavion Vaughn, senior TJ Tarentine, who has committed to Aquinas, senior Jonathan Edwards, who is also committed to Aquinas, junior TJ Burton, senior Isaiah Theodile, who is committed to Oakland University, junior John T. Wilhite, junior Anthony Wilkins, nope, sorry, he's not here, junior Javier Word, junior Elias Vega, senior Jacob Burrell, junior Davier White, junior Daniel Patterson, head coach Ramsey Nichols, assistant coach Will Height, assistant coach Atkins, assistant coach KB, assistant coach Hudson. Congratulations, gentlemen.
That concludes our recognitions this evening.
Thank you. Up next is committee reports and school reports. I know that academic excellence is meeting next week. Community relations is meeting community engagement is meeting next week. April. I'm sorry. Operations has met. Governance has met. Superintendent support. CIS.
Yes, I have a CIS, Communities and Schools report. The site visit last Tuesday of some CIS board members, staff, and donors to Woods Lake was a success. At the meeting, they passed some revisions on bylaws. It's a strong year to date financially. Executive Director James Devers presented good analysis and data on intermittent progress towards reaching the strategic plan's 2028 goals.
Thank you so much. Secretary McGlynn, is there any correspondence?
Yes, there is. We had an email on March 5th from Morgan Stevenson sharing her public comments from the last board meeting and adding a couple of other comments. I replied. And on 3/10, Brian O'Heslum requesting a conversation about phone-free initiatives, and I replied. And on 3/16, Corin Tillison regarding a concern with student school, and I replied.
Thank you. I need a motion to accept the consent calendar items.
So moved.
I have a motion from Trustee Hill. I need a second.
Second.
I have a second from Trustee McGlynn. Now Ms. Kaiser? Kaiser, yes, now Ms. Kaiser.
Thank you, President Harrison. We have 3 purchase recommendations this evening. The first one is request number 2026-36 in the amount of $603,675. This is to purchase 1,500 Lenovo 300E Chromebooks, 200 Lenovo 500E Chromebooks, and this also includes 1,700 Google Chrome Education Upgrade digital licenses. And this will be funded from our 2022 bond. Next, we have purchase recommendation 2026-37 in the amount of $5,703,594, and this is for Northglade Montessori Magnet School remodeling, and this will also be funded by the 2022 bond. And lastly, we have purchase recommendation 2026-38 in the amount of $2,795,539. And this is for Maple Street Magnet School office remodel and addition. And this will be funded by the 2022 bond. Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion from the board. Trustee Hill.
I just want to thank all the voters out there that vote for bonds and millages and help pass it so that we wouldn't be able to do all these amazing things. Who goes out and buys 1,500 Chromebooks? It's just insane. But we have so many students and we always need to update our technology. So it's wonderful. And I know that place in Maple Street that does need remodeling. Nothing wrong with that. And then just everything that we do, it's just very important. And I just want to thank the voters. Thank you.
I wanted to go on both sides. Trustee Payton. No, you got to bring it down.
Okay. A follow-up to the Chromebooks. Are they specific to a school or just to replace the general lot of them?
Yeah, I believe this is a refresh throughout the district.
And I also want to take a moment to make sure that we are thanking the people that support the district through bonds and millages. This will be a roll call vote. Trustee Johnson. Yes. Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Payton.
Yes.
Trustee McGlynn.
Yes.
Trustee Hill.
Yes.
And I say yes. Next up is reports and recommendations, and it will be the superintendent.
Good evening, community members, school board members. We have a special presentation today by the Superintendent of KRESA. Get into that, though, I just have a few things I want to share out. I do want to thank all the community members who attended our 2 strategic plan community meetings. They went very well. Also want to just again remind our community that our strategic plan that we adopted in August, it kind of guides what we do in our district. So if anybody needs a copy of the strategic plan, please contact our HR department, or you can come here in person and we'll give you a hard copy. Process of planning, and scheduling out 10. We're going to have 10 community meetings before the end of the year. As you may know, for the last 2 years, we visited every single school prior to the end of the year just to get general feedback. Because of attendance in the past, we are going to cut that down now to just 10 meetings. We'll probably combine schools, but our goal is to get feedback and input from our community. Again, we're letting folks know now so everybody is aware. We'll probably start those meetings in April. We'll probably remind the community every board meeting, but we're going to have at least 10 meetings to get input and feedback from the community about what's going well and things that we need to work on and improve going into the next school year. Saturday will be our last day of our Saturday school program. I do want to thank our teachers, our principals, our administrators. I want to give a special shout out to Dr. Dyson and Mr. McCain who kind of run the program. And I also want to thank all of our students who have come out for the past few Saturdays to get more support in reading and math. This Saturday, we have our regional spelling bee that will be at Chenery Auditorium. It starts at 1 o'clock. And during that time, the students in our district will compete to see who moves on to the regional spelling bee. Also, I want to thank all of the students who participated in the Global Reading Challenge. I think most of our elementary schools participated. We had the finals coming up, and the teams that made it to the finals are Parkwood Upjohn, King Westwood, and Woodwood. Let's give those schools a special round of applause for making it to the finals. Now, at this time, we'll have Dr. Martin come up. Again, Dr. Martin is the superintendent of KRESA. If you're unaware of what KRESA does, KRESA supports the entire community, the entire county of Kalamazoo, everything related to special ed and some other things. So we appreciate Dr. Martin here to talk about the special ed millage for 2026.
Thank you very much, Dr. Slade, to the Board of Education, and to the administration and all of the parents in the audience. Glad to be here. Again, I'm Dr. Dedrick Martin, Superintendent for Kalamazoo RESA. So I want to talk to you tonight about something special, and it's hard after seeing all the wonderful things that the kids were doing to follow that. So probably won't be as exciting as that, but certainly some stuff that's important to support all the kids. So who is Kalamazoo RESA? For those who don't know, we are really a specialized hub for various programs such as early childhood, special education, career learning, and teacher training. We do things for school districts all across the county and some outside of our county, such as centralized services for payroll, IT, bus driver training. But most importantly, we see ourselves as partnering with the local school districts and the broader community to ensure that all the learners receive the support they need in the greater Kalamazoo region. That's what we do. So what are the programs we offer? Early childhood education. We not only have a centralized site, but there are programs that we help support all across the county. Special education. We take some of the kids who need some of the most support from all of the 9 districts across the county. We also support some of our local school districts in various ways, so we work collaboratively with all of our local school districts. The Career Connect, so for those who haven't had a chance to go in the community, it's that beautiful new building right there on 94 and Sprinkle Road. We provide high career technical education, but we call it our Career Connect campus. So that's probably the endeavor that's taken a lot of training for teachers, training for administrators. And last but not least is operational support. So this is some of the things that I talked about, the back office things. Some districts have a full complement of business office and technology, and some we provide support for them. So we have our hands in some of everything across the county and across the region. Who all do we support? 9 local school districts, as you see up there. We also support 4 charter schools and 18 non-public schools or private schools. So we truly do support students and education all across the county. We, through this, we get to reach and touch or impact or support about 35,000 students annually. So when you look at special education in Kalamazoo County, and if I'm just looking at KPS, and this is approaching 13,000, over 12,000 kids. But what a lot of people probably don't do, almost 16% of that are students with some type of IEP need. That's individualized educational plan. And so they may receive it right here in their local building and school district, or they may collaborate and work hand in hand and try to support the districts by taking the kids that might have the most needs, and by bringing them currently does things in a more cost-efficient manner when we can do it in that light.
So, what are we talking about here? We're talking about our ability to continue to support at the level that we have done in the last couple of years. So annually, KRESA coordinates and distributes about $33 million worth of funding to support special ed. And so this coming May 5th, we have a chance to renew our special education millage. This millage comes about once every 6 years. And what we're asking for is a 1.5% renewal. It's been passed 2 other times before. So the initial 1.5 mils was passed, if I can recall, I want to say it was in 2015, and then why does it matter? Our school community and our state has realized across the last several years that when we talk about kids that need an IEP, we're talking about things that are federally mandated. And what we have realized between the state and the federal funding, it's not enough to cover the costs. In general, before we passed the millage, districts were being asked to take about 36% of their funding above and beyond the special education funding that they receive from the state and the federal. And so this meant you couldn't just elect to say, well, we don't have the money, we can't do it. These are mandated services. So with this millage, we're able to generate more funds. Districts are able to use general education dollars. Without it, they would have to use general education dollars to make up this gap. So if the millage would expire, that means that our districts would really overnight have a pretty severe hurdle in terms of providing services such as speech, occupational therapy, social workers, adaptive resources, and on and on and on. So what's being proposed? We're asking the voters to renew a 1.5 mils property tax that was last passed in 2021. It provides about $16.8 million annually for KRESA to reimburse local districts for their expenses as it relates to special ed, and for public school academies and mandated special ed services. So what does this total? If you're doing the math, it's just shy of $500 per student, or $490 per student. And again, this is not an increase. This is a renewal at the same rate that it was originally passed back in 2015. So breaking that down in practical terms, how much will it cost the taxpayers? Homeowners, this is based on the taxable value of their home. So an example that we have here is if you have a home with a market value of $150,000, the way it works, they would look at the taxable value being about half of that, which in this case is $75,000. And so that homeowner would be paying about $112 per year, or $9.38 per month if this continues. Now, it's the time to start getting the word out and letting people know how important this is for our school community. Because again, this is a significant amount, not only to KPS, but to every single school. Absentee voter ballots, they are available to the public. And so we ask people to go ahead and get that process, or get that in by day, register by mail. That will be April 20th, and then election day will be May 5th, and the polls open at 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. So May 5th is a big day. So what happened last time when we came out for this millage? Our community, similar to 2015, they overwhelmingly supported us, and we passed at a 4% clip. So if anyone wants to learn more, we have a website. We have worked with the communication teams in each of the 9 districts. You can use our QR code, or you can go to kresa.org/millage. We have a frequently asked question section there, and we update that every so often. And that's already answered. We try to keep that information fresh. I am personally talking with our school district superintendents. Our communication teams are working across each other, and we're going to various districts, various groups, having these presentations because we want everyone to understand what's at stake in the May 5th special ed millage renewal. So we are fortunate to partner with you. We appreciate the great support that we've already received from KPS. And if there's anything that we can do to continue to support you, please reach out, let us know. But at this time, I'll ask if there are any questions for me. Yes.
Trustee McGlynn.
Not really a question. And this millage is to our district. And I don't think a lot of people really unfunded mandates where the law says we will provide, and of course we want to provide these services to kids, but that money, a lot of it had to come out of our general fund, and this has been a way for us to continue. We have very, very high quality special education services in Kalamazoo Public Schools, and one of the reasons we have it is because of this millage. So really important for people to get out and vote. It's not a change in your taxes. Your taxes aren't going up by this. This has been there. So really, really encourage everybody to get out and vote.
Thank you. I said it better myself. All right. Thank you.
Next up will be the second reading and adoption. Trustee Murphy.
Thank you. This, again, is just a rereading into public record of policies that have previously been voted on, but as we were going through them, we noted that the dates on them were incorrect, in that they had not been updated when the vote was approved by the board. So after today's quick reading, the date will be updated to today's date, which is March 19, 2026. They may not be published immediately to the website, as the communications department is working to ensure that everything on our KPS website is fully ADA and Section 508 compliant. But at the latest, you should see them by the end of the school year. And so this does apply to the following policies. 1.1, board leadership through policy. Policy 1.2, public participation during a meeting of the Board of Trustees. Policy 1.4, indemnification. Policy 2.1, superintendent authority and establishment of procedures. Policy 3.1, philosophy of learning. And Policy 3.8, safety and crisis management. We will be meeting within the next 2 weeks, and we will have identified another group of policies that will follow the same procedure to be updated, read into the record, and published by the end of the year.
Thank you. Now we will have persons wishing to address the board. Morgan Stevenson.
Hello, thanks for having me. I'm here today to speak about the difference between equity and equality and why this matters for transportation to Hillside. Interfaith is 1.4 miles from the school, just 1/10 of a mile short of the 1.5 cutoff. That tiny difference creates real barriers for families who already struggle to get their children to school safely and consistently. Many parents cannot walk or drive their children to school based on work schedules or lack of transportation. This leads to chronic lateness or full absences, especially in bad weather. Hillside opens at 7 a.m., which means children often leave home at or before 6:30 in the dark, crossing busy roads. Students in Fox Ridge don't even have a sidewalk on their side of Alamo, and there is no crosswalk for them. These are daily safety risks for students. The current policy also impacts students with documented needs. One parent has a child whose IEP includes transportation, but the district would only bus the student to a different school. The parent declined because that disruption would be more harmful to the child than the days that they now miss due to lack of transportation. Another parent accepted the school change only to access transportation. However, that leaves their child now isolated from the community in which they live. These situations show how rigidly applying the mileage rule creates new inequities. I've also spoken with many former students who walked the same route decades ago. Their memories are overwhelmingly negative. Some chose to be late rather than to walk in the dark due to fear. A parent had to stay on the phone with her daughter as she walked to and from school as she listened to adults catcall her in the background. These problems are long-standing and well-known. And this is part of a larger issue. Our transportation policy is more than 40 years old. It was problematic then, and it is still problematic now. Traffic patterns, safety concerns, and our understanding of equity have all changed. State laws set minimum requirements, but districts are fully allowed to go beyond when student safety is at stake, and we have a responsibility to do so. To support safety further, I have already started the process with safe routes to school on behalf of Hillside. This will address some infrastructure issues, but it is a long-time project with a long implication process. It does not solve the immediate transportation challenges for interfaith families. I would like to invite all of you on the board and the superintendent to join the team if you would like. You may reach out to me via email. This is why equity, not rigid equality must guide our decisions. Equity applies the 1.5 rule without exception. Equity recognizes when a community faces real barriers that must be addressed so students can access their education safely. Providing a buffer.
Thank you.
Shelley Smith.
How are you guys today? Okay, the parent whose daughter had to call me on the way to school and was getting catcalled. So, of course, I live in Interfaith, and of course, it's been a concern for about 10 years. And my daughter's been attending Hillside for about 3 of those years. And it shouldn't be to the point where I have to have my daughter walking up a hill at 6 a.m. and then missing first period because the snow is so bad that she can't even really walk on a sidewalk. She has to walk a road, and then the drivers are driving at 50 miles an hour, distracted by phones, and then sometimes I have to tell her to come to school late because I'd rather her be late than not get to school because accident happened and I can't call her. So what she's saying, I'm basically agreeing with, like, something needs to be done. Because I shouldn't be having my daughter who's 15 years old walking up a hill and having a guy, like, flirting with her who's grown. Guess that's it.
Thank you. I believe that this is Claire Dine.
Hey. So, I'm also here to advocate for a bus stop at Interfaith. There's a lot of, like, reasons for that, but the main thing that I'm concerned about is the safety. So if you look at, like, I know that there's a rule that if it's less than 1.5 miles away, you don't have to provide a bus stop. But I think that we definitely should be providing a bus stop and choose to make that decision for the safety of the kids that are walking right now to school. Walking almost 1.5 miles in the dark, and there's no sidewalks. Well, there's sidewalks, but they suck. And so if you want to, like, kind of look at the way that looks on a day-to-day basis, like those sidewalks, there's a video that was done by News Channel 3 that they did a report on kind of this advocacy, and then they also included a video that shows the entire walk from Interfaith to Hillside. And so if you look at that, it kind of highlights like how bad those sidewalks are, so why people might walk in the road instead, which is obviously really dangerous, especially in the winter time, and especially when it's dark out while people are still going to school. I could imagine like making that decision to just be, I would rather just be late than like put myself in danger like that. So there's also like children that have disabilities or cannot safely walk. They need a bus as well. Walking 1.5 miles to school, like, again, in the dark on the road, like, that's not a good, safe idea. And so we have to be looking at this through a lens of equity. I know that it's not a mandate that we have to provide that bus stop, but we definitely should make that decision to go ahead and do it anyway. And like whatever, you guys need to help with doing that. So, and then also, since breakfast begins at 7 a.m., like walking in that condition at 6:30 in the morning, it could be so dangerous. And you've heard like even personal stories about that, which is just, scary and awful. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. Get a bus stop, please.
Thank you. Joseph Harris.
I'm Joseph Harris, and pretty much Miss Claire and Morgan covered my angle. And I just wanted to say, to top it off and say it's time for a change. We have to get rid of these old 70-year-old policies and procedures, and let's move forward. And that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Bill Korb.
Everybody, I'm here advocating for the Interfaith bus stop as well. I'm Bill Korb. I'm running for District 42. Hillside would be in my district. I believe that education is a human right and that good education makes great neighbors. With this 1.5 rule, keeping these kids from coming to school creates a funding issue where they may miss attendance, and also the time away doesn't help address the issues with our literacy problem that is going to come crashing down on this state and our future, because all these kids that are going to be our future leaders. That's why I believe that we should be making equitable efforts into getting buses for all these kids to make sure that their rides are safe and they're in school and they're getting a proper education. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no other people requesting to address the board and no other business, we'll have comments by trustees. Trustee Payton.
Good evening. I'd just like to highlight a couple of things. One, and Dr. Slade mentioned it in his presentation about the Global Reading Challenge, and I was privileged to attend one of those Global Reading Challenges at the Oshtemo Community Building the other night, where the 3 schools were competing. King Westwood, who became the winner that night, King Westwood, Kalamazoo School, and Arcadia School, and just to see kids applying what they learn in reading to Reading to Learn. This is a cooperative with the library where they read a certain number of books and then they have to answer questions about the books. And the kids were so excited. It was a full house, parents there and kids excited. I was sitting next to one student who was so disappointed because she was an alternate, and the alternates get to practice with the kids and everything. And when her whole team showed up, then she didn't get to participate. So she was just so disappointed. And the creative names that they come up with their teams were, I can't even remember them. You know, they were just words thrown together. But just to, and King Westwood advances to the finals, which is Monday night at the main library at 6:30 in case. And then there's another school, there was another team. I didn't attend that one, but somebody here did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
who
tell
were
you all
those?
about it
Okay,
in a
you'll
minute.
share that. All right, and I also wanted to just make an announcement. This is Women's History Month, and Monique Grayson is a graduate of Kalamazoo Public Schools. She was my student when I was principal at North Glade. She is a Delta pilot, and she is speaking at Western Michigan University on Monday at a luncheon, and from 12 to 3 in case anybody's interested. And if you're planning to fly to London anytime soon, that's her route.
Murphy? Trustee Murphy.
Just to restate something that I've stated before, we definitely appreciate all public comment, and we do want to thank you for coming in. If you have additional items that you were unable to address or just that you think of later, please feel free to email the board. We will all receive a copy of your comments, and we are glad to have them. Also, I did want to thank Dr. Martin for taking time to come and stop out to speak about the millage. It was first passed literally the year that I moved here. I have been in Kalamazoo for 11 years. I remember watching the commercials and the ads in April and May leading up to the time to vote. And I was so glad that the community chose to approve that special ed millage. So there's two ways to look at it. One is if we don't pass the millage, the money that we are mandated to spend on special education services will come out of the general budget, which means that we can't upgrade the schools. We can't make secure vestibules. We can't replace our buses. So we would be running, but not as well as we currently are. We wouldn't be able to provide a lot of these opportunities to our school district students. The other part is, gone. I forgot what it was. I should have written it down. I apologize. And as a parent of an autistic student and two children who also had 504s, I cannot tell you how critical this funding is and how much I personally appreciated it as a parent before I was on the board. I also wanted to congratulate those folks who have been able to submit their retirements. That should be listed in the board packet. And congratulations on retiring after long, fantastic careers here in KPS.
So I don't have too many things. Trustee Johnson.
It's not 8 o'clock yet. So first, happy Women's History Month. This has been all month. I can't lie. I'm sitting here on a board full of women, which is dope to me and has been since it's all women. And I'm grateful for the insight from different age groups and different backgrounds. It always helps. But in every culture, the women are the core. I wanted to say congratulations to Jamar. He is a hurdler and he came in first place. He's also a senior. I'm proud of him. Great job, Jada. That's the mama. I also wanted to remind everybody about we over 40 here, so some things slip our minds. There's an event on April 1st with Jabs at the Douglas. I really think it'd be great for all the kids to be able to get there because it is spring break. So that'll be an opportunity for them to gather while school is out. And Saturday is our masquerade ball. If you got a little time, it'll be great. We will be featuring some of Roche's drinks, and Delectable Delights is doing a dinner. So I think that's all I have for now. It's not a repeat of something somebody.
Well, I have a couple of repeats. First of all, I wanted to also thank Superintendent Martin for his presentation to the community on the special ed millage. Want to encourage the community to vote on May 5th to pass that millage successfully, as we are known to do in this community. Wanted to also piggyback on the Global Reading Challenge. I have had the privilege of being able to coach the Lincoln Reading Raiders, which is my team that I coached last year. So I've been with them for 2 years. We were not successful. We did not beat the Woodward Minions, but we want to definitely congratulate the Woodward Minions on beating us and hope that they are successful on Monday with the rest of the Global Reading Challenge. I'm super excited and hoping to be able to stop by the spelling bee, and wanted to make sure that all of our students have a safe and successful spring break. Superintendent Slade.
Just one comment. As we approach spring break, now is a good time for parents to check in on Power School. If not, check in with your child's teacher to see what is their current status. Right after spring break, we're looking at basically 2 months left in the school year, and we want to make sure that all of our students are successful, all of our students are passing. So please, around this time is a good time to check Power School, just to check current status. Is your child passing? If not, please contact your child's teacher, contact the principal. We have a whole lot of things to support students, but this is a time to see where your child stands. I also want to say, we normally meet with all of the students who have summer school. We'll meet with the parent, and a lot of our parents will say, I had no idea my child was failing. I had no idea my child was in a position where they had to go to summer school. So I'm saying that because I want to make sure that doesn't happen this school year. So now's the time, as we approach spring break, to check Power School and to meet with talk to your student, and also talk to the teacher, principal, if you need some additional support. Thank you.
With that being said, our next meeting is scheduled for, I'm sorry, guys, April 8th, 2026. I need a motion to adjourn, please. I have a motion from Trustee Johnson. I just need a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none. You guys have a safe week, and we will see you in a few weeks.